Maniacs, welcome back to the channel. Your local bedhead here. So we're going to be diving into a very interesting video today. Forgive me for the past few days. Well, not really even the past few days. I started getting a little ill again. I actually was not feeling my 100% throughout the weekend. And this is blatantly and bluntly, this is the kind of weather that screws me over a lot. And it's always around this time when filming content becomes a little bit more difficult, because when you have stomach problems, when you have head problems, it does not make it easy to sit down and want to record a video. It just doesn't. It can ruin the reaction, which I don't want to do ever. I don't want to take my, frustration or anything out on the videos I'm watching, because I'm just not feeling up to it. It's just better to kind of hold off and just be like, okay, let me go ahead and film in the next couple days. And I got this video coming, which was released today. This is by Beardo Gets Scared. Beardo obviously had released a video prior to this one, in which case he asked me if I could react to it, because, this is genuinely an important thing in the paranormal community, which I feel like needs to be done more often, actually, when things get a little bit out of hand when it comes to the fakery. I do not believe every paranormal channel out there. I just don't. I don't. Now, as someone who used to watch paranormal content when he was younger, kind of getting older and starting to realize more things throughout YouTube, and realizing that, a lot of these things might have been played off in ways that wouldn't be fake. A lot of things don't really add up anymore. Why did this happen? And why are they acting the way they're acting when it happened? Why does a phone app automatically determine whether a demon's in a room or not? A lot of things have just started to make more sense lately, and the debunking community are a big reason, if not the biggest reason, why my mind has sort of separated. I'm not saying every channel out there is fake. I'm not saying that. So please, before you jump on in to that group or that section of people who think every debunker should be an automatic hater of, ghost hunting channels or anything like that, no, that does not mean automatically all of these debunkers or all these people who think the way like a debunker automatically hate these ghost hunting channels. No, there are some good ones out there. There are some actual talented, really well versed ghost hunting paranormal investigation channels. They're awesome. And look, there are also channels out there who do ghost hunting who are 100% aware of what they're doing is not 100% legit, and they full acknowledge that. Then again, there are ones out there who ride it, and they believe everything they're catching and play it off as paranormal, even knowing they are probably aware that they're aware of that they don't really believe it is paranormal, but they want to throw it out like that because, well, they know that people genuinely jump on into that shit. And there are people who genuinely believe it, because a lot of these channels will play it off as legit. A lot of these people aren't even out there doing ghost hunts or paranormal investigations. They've never used this equipment before. But when they see these channels use the equipment and they start talking the way they talk, they're like, that's fascinating. That's very interesting. That is spooky. That it has to be real, right? But no. Look, I've gone on one investigation, one serious investigation. I can count two now. I've done two investigations, and there is a method that I have always watched on a lot of these YouTube channels that I loved. Being on the other side of the screen, I loved watching this method go down. The Estes method. Loved watching it. Most of the time when I see these channels use it, they always get some crazy responses. I finally went to a location, a very well-known haunted location, and I did the Estes method. Nothing. To the point where all three of us who were investigating this very well-known house were kind of disappointed. And because we were expecting a lot from using this method, and we were expecting a lot from this location, because we've seen other channels go to this location and get the most insane shit. Did not happen for us, not even close. We had some interesting things happen throughout the night. We're not going to deny that. But on the level of like one of these ghost hunting channels, nowhere near. We went in there with the utmost respect. Not even close. For all those people in the comment section saying, you're not even there, so how do you know? You're not even getting out there and doing it. Yeah, I have gotten out there and I've done it, and it is nowhere near. So maybe instead of criticizing debunkers for actually getting out there and doing it, and then telling you that it's not as active as a lot of these ghost hunting channels claim it is, maybe get off your asses and go out there and try to do some of these methods yourself and tell us if they are as good as a lot of these ghost hunting channels. I almost guarantee you they're not going to be. Having said all of that, sorry, that was bothering me for a while because I see a lot of those comments. Why don't you get out there and do it instead of criticizing? Maybe you should get out there and do it too instead of criticizing. Paranormal Nightmare. Yeah, I was wanting to think of it before I had to look it up. Paranormal Nightmare. This is Beardo's second video on him, and I will be honest, I did see Beardo's post on Facebook. Wow is all I can say, because if that is true, I don't know what they were thinking.
Beardo's Widows, Boss of Ghouls, how are we all doing? Now, you'll remember just before Christmas, I did a video involving a lovely man called Jed and his family and the interactions that they had with the Foreman brothers. The fallout of that was they posted all of these images that, you know, these dates prove that Beardo is wrong, and then they quickly took them down when they realized what they actually did was prove me right. And then they hid the video. We couldn't see the video of their investigation of Jed's house. And if you want to go and watch my original video, it'll be linked in the description down below.
Which, again, look, I understand that channels have audiences. I understand that there are hardcore fans of specific channels who will never see anything that Beardo nor anybody else presents. You could be literally a family who had been taken advantage of, and I'm not saying this about Paranormal Nightmare, but you could have been completely taken advantage of by one of these groups, but as long as they present themselves as nice people on social media, you're not going to see the other side of them. You're just not. That's the reality. That's just how it's going to be. And, you know, Beardo, the time you should almost actually always try to look at a situation in a different light is when evidence is provided. But not only evidence is provided, let's say in this situation, by Beardo, on why these guys were over-exaggerating, lying about certain things, and putting stuff off as paranormal. All been shown in video, documented by this guy, which you should be looking at. But they themselves have not had the best responses. But for some reason, no matter what anybody says, no matter how much is thrown in your face, it goes right by your head. And maybe you'll use the argument, well, you know what, I don't care, I don't watch them for that reason anyways. Okay, that's fine. But why are you going out of your way to go after somebody who is actually out here calling out fakery and con artistry to people who don't want to be conned and don't want to be lied to? There are people who will look at these videos and be very grateful to Beardo, and there have been people who look at Beardo's video and are like, this fucking sucks. I had a lot of faith in Paranormal Nightmare, and this just rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't think they had the best responses. I was being unbiased here. I went into both sides wanting to see what Beardo was going to present, and I thought that was very interesting, and then I went over to their channel and I saw their posts. Not a fan of their posts. It did not win me over by any means. Again, this is somebody on an outside source. I'm a reactor by the end of the day. I'm not a debunker nor a ghost hunting paranormal investigator. I've done a paranormal investigation. I have done a couple debunks. I find enjoyment out of both because I truly do not believe everything I see. But I also do believe in the paranormal, so keep that in mind too. But I also believe in fakery and con artists because they do exist. There's more proof of con artists being in the world than probably real proof of ghosts being in the real world. You know, I've seen more evidence that has 100% proven this person's lying over a ghost. I hate to say that because I would rather say the opposite. And it sucks to have to admit that. And it sucks to have to say that. It kills me. And I'd rather just accept the truth of it than sit here and live a lie, trusting in people that I thought were legit, when I really desperately want to believe in the paranormal.
I call them out for a few things that they do as investigators that are wrong. For example, the car headlight that casts a shadow. Dollar store Fred Durst goes, oh, I saw a shadow figure. What a divvy. They hid the video, they hid the posts, and then they hid behind, I'm a bully, I'm wrong, etc. They then apparently, allegedly, were going to take legal action against me. Simply Strange sent a message to some people to try and get them on for interviews about the whole thing and basically said, you know, they're threatening, they're saying they're going to take legal action against Beardo. So I was just checking the time because it's been, you know, it's been a good while. Where's the legal action? Because, and I've made this argument for a long time on this channel, if you want to take me to court, you have to prove that you can talk to ghosts. All I've got to do is say, science. It's as simple as that. So, obviously I've kept in...
Not wrong. Not wrong. That's probably why a lot of people haven't taken anybody to court over paranormal matters. Because at the end of the day, it is a matter of an opinion, but it's also like, this debunker's kind of making some interesting points. Yeah, it was a car that passed by the window, and you played it off as a shadow. But now you're trying to come off as if you're helping this family get through some dark times. What if you go to court and someone brings in a psychologist and says what you're doing is making their situation worse? I mean, there could be so many things that they could bring up to you and mention to you saying, yeah, you're kind of not helping them. And it looks like you're actually terrifying them even more. I mean, you really want to take someone to court where they can present that kind of evidence against you? It's like, no, you probably shouldn't do that. So you probably should stop waving the legal action shit around and just start acknowledging when you've been called out. The court system isn't a fucking toy, and something you should definitely not be just waving around like a loaded weapon. Just because you got your feelings or someone said something that was just not what you expected, or just saying something that, yeah, is proving you in that, showing you in that kind of light. If you got a problem, reach out to the debunker, try to have an actual physical conversation with them, and talk about it. That's the best route you can take. And look, if you are lying and if you are over-exaggerating and you're aware of it, just admit it. Be honest with your audience. Always the thing, guys. It's always the thing. I always tell people, if you start your own channel, be honest with your audience. It's going to go a long way, because at that point, you got nothing to hide. You got nothing to fear. The reason why they're probably not wanting to even acknowledge this right now is because they know if they acknowledge it, that means that everybody's going to leave their channel. And look, that's a big risk. That's a big risk, because you chose to go down that path of deceivance. You went down the path of deceivance, and now you've been called out for it. There was a time when deceivance was huge on YouTube. A lot of people fell for it. A lot of people never questioned it. Now there are people questioning it. And the second that it's even remotely questioned, I will sue your ass for defamation of character. I'm not the one who went out of their way to do this. You know, I'm not the one who's out here lying. I'm not the one who's out here. I've gotten kind of tired of using this excuse, the whole making money excuse, because the reality is if you're a YouTuber, you're making money. You have to make money to keep your channel afloat. So I'm not really one to go after people who make money off YouTube. There are some people who do a very good job at it, and they are making a living, and I'm like, good for them, because I guarantee you a lot of people, if they can make a living off doing YouTube, they would probably want to do it. Do I have an issue with the way they go about it sometimes? So yeah, there are genuinely like some situations where I do have an issue with the way that some content creators actually do make money off YouTube, and there are genuinely some content creators who definitely do take advantage. Crypto Coin is a big example of one I can't stand. Just horrible when they go out and try to scam their audiences. Like, I mean, there are genuinely ways where people do make money on social media that rubs me the wrong way completely, and I do not stand by it. I don't understand why they do it. It's just sickening. It's disgusting. It's horrible. You're taking advantage of the people that got you to where you are, and you're doing well at what you do because people are watching you. That's how you make the money. That's how you're going about your day. Okay, fine. But going out there, going into people's personal houses, their livelihoods, listening to them vent, listening to what they're struggling with, and then going into their house, doing a paranormal investigation or a ghost hunt, and then coming out of it saying that your house is absolutely possessed by demonic entities and that you should seek help from a priest is a bit horrifying. I couldn't imagine being in those shoes. This happened, actually. There was a time in this house where we had something going on, and we have feathers over the doors and windows and whatnot, and we truly believed that this was going to help, and in a sense it did. So I'm always going to be grateful to the people who actually said they were going to do it and help us out in any way they can. The people that helped us out, their ideologies were very much Native American, and they did a Native American seance or ritual on the house because we believed that there was something evil inside of it. There was some strange things going on. Doors were being absolutely punched. And I was at work when this happened. My family were here. My sister was using the bathroom. And out of nowhere, something full on forcefully just banged the upstairs bathroom door with her in it. Nobody else was upstairs. She started screaming and crying. This terrified the hell out of her. This is a real thing, that fear was going throughout her body. She did not want to be in this house anymore. She was that terrified. She wanted to go stay with a friend that night. And we just said, enough's enough. They put feathers over the windows and every entryway in the house because we believed, or they believed, that whatever evil was in here, we were going to banish from the house and it could not enter the house anymore. Ever since that ritual, we have not had anything happen. Now, could this be just a psychological thing? Maybe now we just personally believe that that it worked and our minds are put at ease now. Of course. But for all the physical things that did happen around the house, we still have no explanation. There were some very odd things that genuinely happened. One of the reasons why I do believe in the paranormal is from my own personal experiences. There's a lot of things I can't explain, and that is why I will probably go to my grave believing in the paranormal. But will I go to my grave also believing that there's a bunch of liars on, the platform and in this industry? Yeah, they know people believe. They know people want to believe, and they take advantage. They take full advantage of that, and then they present themselves as the nicest fucking people on the planet. Ranting on along about this enough.
Touch with Jed. We spoke over Christmas. I wished his family a Merry Christmas. He wished my family a Merry Christmas. Jeff from Boo Productions is still working with Jed, and what they've been working on is not the paranormal side of what's going on in his house. It's the emotional side. It is the things that I said the Foreman brothers didn't do. And with Jeff from Boo Productions' help, Jed's house suddenly is less dark, less foreboding, less haunting. Almost pleasant there. And then this morning I get a screenshot from Jed. Now, in every interaction I've had with Jed, he has been very, very pleasant. Even with everything else, he's been within two minds. Does he call out the Foreman? Oh, I don't know if I should say about the alcohol because, they may be good guys. They may just be trying to help. Maybe I'm mistaken. And I'm like, listen, Jed, they faked their investigation there. I've proved it numerous times in that one video. I've proved it numerous times before. You're not the villain here. They are. And then I get a full-blown rant from Jed today. And I'm not going to read the full thing out because the guy's telling me these things to make him feel better. So
he's venting, yeah.
Make him feel better, so somebody's listening. Obviously, Jeff's aware of this as well. And basically what he's so angry about is the Foreman brothers have put the video behind members only. Whilst it's a smart move, it's a scumbag move because...
Oh, I did not know about that. I did not know about that. So instead of removing the video entirely, they would rather just put it behind a paywall. So if you want to see the investigation, now you have to pay to go see it. It's also, a good way to keep debunkers from watching it because they're probably not going to pay to go watch it and use it. Yeah, that's kind of sucky.
My video drummed up more interest in that video that was a year old, and they hid it behind a paywall. Now, in my opinion, and you can't sue me for opinions, Rocky, Sean, and George. Wait, George makes the grills. He's useful. Rocky, Sean, Bullwinkle, I don't know. I don't care. And if you're pissed that I'm calling them names, I don't care. They've hurt people. So, they've changed the description. It'll be on screen. A demon house. Never a demon house.
This is what I saw on Facebook. I'm going to give my thoughts before Beardo. I know, I haven't really let him talk throughout this not investigation. I haven't really let him talk throughout this video. I will, trust me. But I also want to give my own thoughts because, obviously I'm a reactor. I want to give my thoughts. My opinion. Unfortunately, we have a strong reason to believe the story behind the haunting was an elaborate hoax. We try to take everyone at face value. Recent lies have put the entire interview into question. It's very unfortunate, but we felt this episode needed a disclaimer. Yeah. This was idiotic to say. This was actually stupid to say. So, because you didn't like what they were saying, and now they're the liars, you have every reason to believe that this was all just a giant hoax, and the house itself was not haunted. You realize that everything you caught in this house and everything that you screamed about is now fake, right? And is all acted out. That's exactly what that says. There's no getting around that, Paranormal Nightmare TV fans. There's no getting around it. Season 13, Episode 6 is all an elaborate hoax, which means they themselves pulled off an elaborate hoax. The guy they investigated for is the liar here. I wanted to make a video right there and then, but I wanted to see if Beardo was going to make a video because I wanted to hear his thoughts, of course, and also give my thoughts. I can't believe you guys said that. I can't believe you guys said that in the description of that video. You just called yourselves fake. And the things that you caught in the video, the way you run, the way you freak out over seeing a shadow on the wall, the way you did that and this and that, I have not seen the full the full video, so I can't tell you everything. But I will say the things that Beardo pointed out in his video, Bureau already showed as being fake, and then here they are saying that that entire thing was an elaborate hoax. The haunting was an elaborate hoax. Yeah, they just said the haunting was an elaborate hoax, or the story behind the haunting was an elaborate hoax, right? But again, you investigated that house, going in to that story, and all the things you caught, saying this was a demon house, even have it in full caps, demon house, that has to be a lie too, right? I'm assuming, because you can't just go into a house and then just claim it's a demon house. So I guess you could have done that, but then where's the proof? Where's evidence backing it up? Where's the stories? You're just going into a place saying it's a demon house, but already everything that you caught in that house, that so-called demon house, has already been proven to be, not what you've said it was. So apparently the story behind it is an elaborate hoax. I have to assume that the investigation that took place there is an elaborate hoax.
It was never on the table, was never on the cards. That's clickbait. Paranormal Nightmare TV, Season 13, Episode 6. Now behind the paywall. Bravo. Unfortunately, this is the new video description. Unfortunately, we have a strong reason to believe the story behind the haunting was an elaborate hoax. You know where I'm going. We tried to take everyone at face value. Recent lies have put the entire interview into question. Good wording, but you still dropped yourself in the shit, and I will explain that. It's very unfortunate, but we felt this episode needed a disclaimer. Please subscribe, join us on Patreon, buy our official merchandise, follow us on TikTok. So, one of your victims, alleged victims, has made a complaint to me. I, in turn, get him help. And through me listening and through getting him the help from Jeff from Boo Productions, we have made this guy's life better. And your response to that is to change the video description to, unfortunately, we have strong reason to believe the story behind the haunting was an elaborate hoax. Excuse me? What was the elaborate hoax? Because they went in, they told you this story, the wife was not acting or lying about the grief. That was very real, and that should have been your first port of call as a paranormal investigator, as opposed to a clickbaity YouTube piece of shit channel, is to say, grief, that can play a part. Let us look into that.
Yep.
How does your wife feel? Is she on any medication? The common sense approach, the logical approach to paranormal investigations, especially in someone's house. I mean, at least these guys didn't seem to have drug or alcohol dependency. How is the haunting there an elaborate hoax when you said that they have to leave the house for you to conduct your investigations? They were sat out on the drive. So how did they influence anything within the house when they are outside? They didn't. This is you trying to hurt Jed, trying to undermine me, undermine what I did. And all you have done is point out how stupid you are. Because you have now investigated what, in your words, is a hoax haunting. So how in the fuck did you three idiots get evidence? How did you get a shadow figure? How were your devices triggering? Why were you running and screaming? Why were you so scared and jumping and blaspheming? Because it's all a hoax. You can't have it both ways. If
he's making a good point. What they were dealing with wasn't anything paranormal. It was grief. These were real emotions, human emotions that they were absolutely dealing with. And they just admitted that all of that was a hoax. Their suffering, their depression, their anxiety, their whatever have you is all an elaborate hoax. But everything we did in the situation was right. So we're the good guys here, is how I'm reading that off. Nothing makes sense. The only thing that makes sense here is if everything that you caught was legit, because I'm sure you're going to defend that, that would mean it's all bullshit. I don't see any other way to get around it. I don't. If this was all just a hoax and the house was not really all haunted, what did you catch? Why were you freaking out over nothing?
The hoaxer, and then you've captured evidence, then you're fake. If he is real and you've gone in and captured this evidence and then you change your mind on it, you're then lying to make him look bad because he wasn't happy with what you did for him. None of these outcomes make you guys look good.
No, they don't.
In fact, they make you look pretty moronic. And that's why I'm grinning like an idiot, because I knew it. I know you guys are stupid, I know you guys are fleecers, and you have proved it for us. And you've done it all behind a paywall to hide from Big Bad Beardo Weirdo. I see everything, all the time, because Clearly, people are paying memberships to your channel just to drip feed information over to the debunkers. That's how well liked you are now. Good job. We tried to take everyone at face value. Well, yeah, so do I. I took you guys at face value. I supported you guys until you kept making mistakes. Recent lies have put this entire interview into question. I don't think it has. If whatever you think are lies put this entire interview into question, why did you hide her all behind a paywall? Why did you then take down the posts that were allegedly showing me to be allegedly a liar and a bully? Because those posts, there was a 1 month discrepancy. And then you call Jed crazy. Your fan base start calling Jed crazy. Somebody that asked you for help. And it doesn't matter what you think of Jed, it doesn't matter. What matters is you went to help that family. You turned your back on that family to the point where they had to ask for help from somebody else.
The thing is, if they felt something was wrong, right? If for some reason, I just got a gut feeling that these guys probably knew that they were suffering through something, but then they took advantage of it. And now when the guy tries to ask for continuous help from them, now he's crazy. He's that, but they wanted to move on to the next thing. They wanted to get to the next location so they can get another investigation out there. There was never any sense of helping them. And it's sad. It's actually sad. You could have actually gotten this guy help. What paranormal investigators should be doing is if they do believe that there is something, mental going on with a certain person, or maybe like they are suffering through, again, like what Peter said, depression or anxiety or whatever, and it is causing these hauntings, then you should be open about that. You should be like, we didn't get anything in our investigation. I do believe that, there are people you can talk to who might be able to help you here. I'm not saying that you're crazy or anything. Of course not. But there are people you can talk to who may be able to shed a light on some of the things that you're experiencing here and maybe ease that depression. But that was never in their job description. But the job of a paranormal investigator is to determine whether a place is really haunted or not. And if it has something to do with, a family going through grief, then that's what it is. And that's what we got to say. But to just try to ignore it, go away, and then when the guy gets upset that you're not saying anything to him and then asks for help and they call you out, but now it's all just a lie. It's just an elaborate hoax. Nothing really adds up there. The only thing that adds up is that you obviously were lying about some things.
Truth comes out. Oh, that guy's crazy. Where have I seen that before? Oh, yeah, the Warrens, and they were scam artists and liars too. Oh, yeah, and they did it in the name of God. Good old Christian boys. It's very unfortunate we felt this episode needed a disclaimer. I think your whole channel at this point, Foreman Brothers, deserves it.
I was about to say the same exact thing. Maybe you should put that disclaimer on your description of your channel.
Disclaimer. For entertainment purposes only.
It'd save you a lot.
And in brackets, nothing that you see here is scientific. Nothing that you see here is real. Nothing is proof of the paranormal. It's all for show. Because that's what it is. You see you three bumbling idiots running around screaming, shouting, oh my god, oh my god, swearing and all the rest of it for little knocks, taps and bumps in the house. Maybe you should have told everybody that there were cats in the house. Jed and his family were made to go outside, but the cats were still in the house. And you knew that. Also, we'll talk about Jed a little bit more. The whole thing with, oh my god, he's bleeding. Oh, look at him, he's shaking. He's so scared. That's not what happened either, is it, the Foreman brothers? What happened there was, Jed didn't realise, but back then, he was on the verge of diabetes. The blood came from a pinprick test. Finger prick test. He was getting his blood sugars checked. And there was some weird cut. Potentially on accident, I guess. But it made it look like he was under some form of attachment or attack while they were there talking about the case. That's not what happened. Jed had a sugar crash. And since then, it's been discovered that he is indeed diabetic. So why did you portray it to be something that it wasn't? Why did you...
my mom she's a diabetic. And she gets to that point sometimes. She has to do the finger prick test and everything. If I invited these guys to investigate my place and they try to pull that shit, I'd make a video in 2 seconds calling them out. That is so fucked up to do. And then to play it as like a demonic attachment or something. It's like they didn't even bother. Well, they could have believed that it was because they didn't know he had to. You could have asked. You could have went into the, like, you could have asked questions. Like, that's what you should be doing anyways. It's like, why are you shaking? What? But to play it off like it's a demonic attachment is, yeah, not cool. Not really cool at all.
Due to that being something paranormal. It's because you're liars and you're going after shock value. And worse than that, worse than anything you did in the video, worse than it all, you turned your back on him. He asked for help and then you mocked him. You posted private conversations and you mocked him. He wants to be a fourth Foreman brother. He wants to speak to us. He wants to do this. Only based off things that you had said to him. You twisted things. You posted things to make him look negative. Something just fell off my desk. Call the Foreman brothers. It's a demon. It's not. Now, Jed is very upset and very angry, but he's still got me and Jeff that he can just drop a line to whenever he wants. He's got Jeff from Boo Productions and him having discussions quite often. Jeff and Dana from Boo Productions go into his home, not even to investigate the haunting, get a feel for the building and get a feel for what they can debunk naturally, and to put Jed at ease before they even look at anything paranormal. And here's the kicker. They may not even have to look at anything paranormal, because since Jed has got the help mentally from myself and Jeff, there's no darkness in his home. The haunting is minuscule now, if indeed that's what it is. Why? Because his mind is in a better place. His mind is at ease. And we facilitated that off the damage you idiots did to him. Sounds harsh, right? Well, Jed is probably one of the people that's featured in your episodes as of late that seems a bit more switched on. What if this had happened to somebody that, you know, we all remember the lady you revisited after I called you out? Because, oh shit, Beardo's called us out for not giving any aftercare. Let's go and help this lady out. Let's go back and let's do aftercare. Because we're good guys. But let's make sure that it is our most popular video.
I think I know who he's talking about.
That we have done recently to maximize the viewership, to maximize the money, to maximize the income. Good old Christian boys. So if Jesus was alive right now, like the stories say, and, you know, he went into the gamblers' dens and threw over all the tables and shit, he'd be going into your homes and throwing over the tables and stomping on your cameras because you're full of shit.
He wouldn't be happy.
Allegedly.
No. He wouldn't be happy. That's for damn sure. I don't know how you defend it. And look, it wasn't even Beardo who was out here saying things. It was literally their own words. It was their own decision making that put them in a situation like this. It wasn't Beardo. Beardo is giving his thoughts and opinions on it, like I'm giving my thoughts and opinions on it. They are the ones who put the video behind a paywall. And in the description of their own video, they said everything was an elaborate hoax. The story of the hauntings was an elaborate hoax. What does that say about the investigation that took place there? This isn't hate. This is calling out bullshit when it needs to be called out. It's not hate. As many people want to jump on that little train, it's really not. This is just a reality of the paranormal and where it's heading. There's going to be a lot more of this coming, I'm sure. I'm sure this is not going to be the only time we're going to see things like this happen. And I don't think it's ruining the fun because, look, one day when all of this is finally just shifted through and more channels are called out for lying, taking advantage of people, and yada, 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 there's going to be a point where people are going to see that there is a legitimate paranormal out there. I'm hoping a legitimate paranormal out there. And then there's an entertainment paranormal out there. And look, we're already aware of that. But I do believe there are people who are still in denial. And I do believe that they are still on the fence, that the debunking community are just out there trying to wreak havoc. It's not true. Debunkers are not out there trying to wreak havoc. They're not out there trying to ruin these channels because the channels are doing a very good job at doing that themselves. You got to call out liars. You got to call out fakery. You got to call out bullshit, especially when these channels are out there portraying all of this stuff as real.
You guys have made allegedly ridiculous claims that the debunkers are stalking us. I live in the UK.
Yeah.
How am I stalking you, you morons? Your videos are public on the internet for all to see.
Yeah, that's the funny. Isn't that the kicker, though? They're stalking us. Your channels are public. What are you talking about?
Can you?
But that's how you know there's something up. When they start acting like that. Oh, they're pulling the stalker card. Now he's a stalker. He's investigating you because he feels that there might be something amiss. He feels like there is something wrong with your channel and the way you present it. So yes, he's doing his research before he makes a video. That's not stalking, that's doing his research.
I made a video. A few other channels made videos reacting to my video and interviews with Jed because people genuinely care. And then there's been nothing for ages. Absolutely nothing. So how in the fuck are any of us stalking you? It's a lie to turn your Karen Brigade angry against us. Well, the Karen Brigade, I don't care about because they'll never have their minds changed. Your Karen Brigade have seen myself,
No, they won't.
Mythos, The Shape, and others tear down pretty much everything you've put out in the last year or two. They can see evidence.
Yeah. Look, I'm not even a professional debunker, but my mind has changed about a lot of things. And just because my mind has changed a lot about a lot of things, I still get this treatment. The other day I saw a post. I don't like Mythos, Beardo, and J-Carts. Just because my opinion has changed about where the paranormal is. I'm not a professional debunker. I'm not making these videos full on, right? I'm not like sitting there doing my research, talking about why this, that, and this is fake. No, there are really awesome people who do this themselves, and they do a fucking fine job at it. Like there are ghost hunters and paranormal investigators out in the world. I'd say more paranormal investigators out in the world who do paranormal investigations and do a really phenomenal job at it. There are debunkers because some of these channels don't like to debunk, and they're mostly debunking these ghost hunting channels. That's what they're doing. They're debunking the ghost hunting channels, the channels that refuse to do the research or refuse to do any sort of fact-checking before they publish their videos, and they'll go out of their way to debunk those and help those channels out if they take it as help. Sometimes they don't, and sometimes they start saying things like, that guy's stalking and I don't like it. That's creepy. Why would you ask that? This guy's a bully. This girl's a bully. That's their responses. They don't say, thank you so much. I never would have thought of it that way. They make them sound like the bad guys. And those, in my opinion, are the channels you look for. Those are the ones you should be raising your eyebrow at. Like, why are you getting all defensive? Why are you getting nervous? Why are you getting this, like you're being attacked vibe? Some of these channels aren't doing that. There was a good example not too long ago. Andrew Stonerock. I like Andrew. Andrew's a great guy. Had many conversations with him. He's genuinely a good guy. He made a video saying certain things about Twin Paranormal, trying to help them out in certain situations, saying, hey, maybe, don't trust the phone app and stuff too much, and things like that. And Twin Paranormal went on the attack immediately. Andrew almost had his channel completely wiped off the face of YouTube. Just starting out doing debunkings, almost had his channel wiped because all of Twin Paranormal's audience, the people who clearly are not doing any research at all, clearly are not looking at them in a certain light because they saw one post of one of them having their feelings hurt, were like, oh, this isn't right. You can't be doing that to our guy. And they went over to Andrew's channel, and even some of them posted posts that were so proud that they went on the attack against Andrew and almost had his channel removed. He took down the video, and one of them was so proud of that, taking all the credit and stuff, yet Beardo is a bully. Do you not see the bully mentality in that? But somehow you're the good guys? Makes no fucking sense. And in my opinion, it's extremely hypocritical of you to say any of these guys are bullies when you yourself have a mob mentality idea of trying to remove channels for an opinion. Get out of here with that. That makes no sense whatsoever to me. If you have proof that you're telling the truth, get with one of these debunkers, give them some credibility on what they're doing, and fucking prove that what you did do was legit and why you might have mistaken that as a ghost. If you are not hiding anything, just do that, and I guarantee you it'll help you out loads. It will help you out loads. Now, obviously, if you're lying and you still want to do this, don't be too shocked if they prove you wrong anyways and say that you're lying about it. Don't sit there and say, well, J-Cards, this is what he told me I should do, and I did it, and he didn't, change his mind. If you're lying, you're lying. Don't do it if you're lying. Just let them call you out, because that's what you're doing, right? So, yeah. Or just openly acknowledge that to your audience. There have been channels who've done that, and, sometimes it works out for them.
Them in the face and prove once and for all you guys are full of it, and then they'll go, but they help people. I want to speak to the manager. Beardo's nasty because he doesn't shave. Jed's a liar. I may have gone a little over the top there, but the last time I covered the Foreman brothers, clearly I was angry.
Absolutely reprehensible behavior.
I looked angry in the video. I was all very serious, stern, and matter of fact. This is important. Well, this is still as important, and it is very important that I still support Jed, that Jeff still supports Jed, and it's important that I get this message out. But I'm doing it in a mocking tone because you guys have become a fucking parody of what you set out to be. You have become a parody of paranormal investigators. I mean, you did the massive event with all the other fakers. Why? Why, other than, we need to grow, we need to grow. Clearly Limp Bizkit ticket sales have gone down in value. Then you go to a fake TikTok haunting house and you investigate that. The debunkers call that out as fake. You're busted with a ball on the top of the stairs. And your Karens and all of the little people that follow you guys and support you guys through everything.
I'm not really sure what he was talking about with the group of people that apparently fake. I haven't seen that at all. I have an idea of what he might be talking about, but I didn't know they were involved with that.
And anything, and would never dare have a bad word said about you guys. We don't drink. And then there's photos of you guys with beer. You know, just silly things like that. Then you get the TikTok haunting, and even that got twisted. Yeah, we knew it was we knew that it was fake, but we investigated it anyway because they could have conjured something. That was our thought process all along. No, it's the same as what you're doing with Jed. You're counter-changing your backstory. You're changing things. You're changing...
You're making it sound like they're the bad guys no matter what. Our investigation was real, but we believe it's fake because he conjured the ghosts that we were capturing. So this whole thing is a load of horseradish. What? You still caught evidence, though. So you should be happy, right? No. His story was a load of horseradish. Reprehensible. But our investigation was so true and so legit. We would never lie to you guys. But his story is shit. That's why we put the investigation behind a paid wall, you see.
Descriptions and tags and all that sort of stuff, allegedly. So the people can't call you out for the fake scam artist that you are. Going into people's homes and falsifying paranormal equipment when they're on the breadline, when they're suffering from addiction, mental health, and all of these other things is about as scummy as you can get. You're no different, in my opinion, to the guys that work in those call centers, phoning up old dears and saying things like, have you been missold PPI, and then rinsing their bank accounts. You're no different to them. The difference is you can claim money you've lost back. You're doing this to people's emotions and feelings. I bet you feel all warm and fuzzy in your tum-tums. And what's really wild about all of this is, whilst the debunking community have all gone, fuck yeah, clearly staging, clearly fake, clearly they're hurting people, your side of the community are battening down the hatches in defense of you. It's like, it doesn't matter what evidence is portrayed. Now, we like the Foreman brothers, fuck it. And it's almost comical that we've all noticed that it's all women in the later stages of life. You know, women that are probably old enough to be my mum, all with the same haircut, all using their full names and, you know, got the Karen haircuts in their profile pictures, all like, we love you, Rocky, we love you, Sean, we love you, Bullwinkle. Now, the difference between them and me is, yeah, I get paid for this now. I've been paid for this full time for just over a year. And I'm incredibly proud of that because I don't hide my morals behind it.
At least you can say he's honest about his opinion, right? I don't care what anybody says. Like, Beardo, like, the reality is if he really wanted to blow up, he could start making videos talking about how highly and how awesome a lot of these bigger channels are. That could be an easy way to get a lot more subscribers. And thankfully, my audience, I was a big Sam and Colby fan at first. I still am, regardless of what anybody thinks of me. I still am. But I'm not as lenient on believing a lot of the things they catch and some of the things that they say. I'm not huge on some of that stuff. So that's just me trying to be honest with everybody. My opinion's changed. But a lot of my audience, thankfully, who are Sam and Colby fans, see that. They do see that, and they do respect my opinion. Do I say my opinion a lot? Of course I do. I feel like I have to sometimes. Sometimes I don't, but I still do, and I can see why that's annoying. And a lot of them are Sam and Colby fans. So not all the fans of Sam and Colby are against that idea. They're not against someone having those thoughts, right? That doesn't change their mind about how they feel about watching the entertainment value of those channels, and how some might actually agree with me, and they do agree with me. And they're like, you know, I just watch them for the entertainment, but yeah, you're right. That's a bit sus, and that is a bit why did he say it like that? And I use Sam and Colby as a big example because they are probably the biggest ghost hunting channel out there. It's just, it is what it is. My opinion, again, has changed. So having said all that, I still have kept a lot of those subscribers. Some people have told me in the comment section, which is unnecessary. If you want to unsubscribe from my channel, you don't have to tell me. You can go ahead and do it. It's a free world. If you don't want to follow me anymore, it's okay. I'm not going to have my feelings hurt. I completely understand. This is the risk you take when you get on YouTube and you're just being honest with your audience. Your opinion changes, especially a reactor who watches a lot of different videos, a lot of different evidence is shown to him, a lot of different things are said in front of him, and he starts to slowly change his mind about certain things. Doesn't mean I hate Sam and Colby. It doesn't mean I want to see anything bad happen to them. But I am also somebody who is a believer of the truth at the end of the day. And I want real evidence. I want to be mind blown when I watch a video and something really crazy is caught. I feel the same way about cryptids. I want to see a real Mothman. I want to see a real Bigfoot. I want to see all of these things because I love that stuff. I want to see real aliens. I want to see the real stuff. I don't want to see people over-exaggerating, screaming at a small little light off in the distance, and then they start bolting down a fucking dirt road, right? And just screaming their heads off. I don't want to see that. I want to see real stuff. I'm tired, so tired of just always constantly thinking, is this even real? Because unfortunately, we have so many videos out there in the world today that are being proved as fake in a lot of situations, but is it even real? And most of the time, I feel like it can be just blatantly said, no, it's not at this rate, because there's just so much trickery and so much bullshit behind a camera that it's just so difficult to see anymore. The fun part for me is that I'm still a believer at heart. I still want this to be real. I still want all of this stuff to be there. And I'm hoping once everything is finally weeded out, people are starting to acknowledge what is real and what's not real anymore, we might be able to slowly sit back, take a relaxing, sit on our chairs and just be like, okay, let's press the play button and see what we catch today by people who actually are out there doing real investigations. I was watching Finding Bigfoot not too long ago, and those guys have been at it how long? And they always think that a Bigfoot's around the corner, but it's just like a rabbit or a fox. You know what I mean? Like, how have you not caught anything at this point? I'm just so excited to see this side of the paranormal stepping up. Ironically, they're doing it because one of these ghost hunting channels asked them to, and now they're growing audiences. That's amazing. Give credit where credit's due. Sam and Colby, fucking geniuses for that. You sparked a debunking armada, if you will, an army of debunkers, people who actually put the time in to do the research, watch these videos, and debunk things. In my opinion, you have helped the paranormal in a huge way. I'm not sure if you'll ever take acknowledgement of that or if this is the way that you intended, but you sparked so many people who finally stepped up and started doing these videos. Now, some of these channels have done this long before, and that's amazing, but now they're being openly more acknowledged because of that. Because one of the biggest ghost hunting channels said we would like for people to debunk this, and it started happening. You helped the paranormal out in a huge way. Whether it was intentional or not, I don't know, but you did. It's really because of Beardo Mythos, Side-Eye Guy, I'm beginning to have a lot more faith restored to me. I'm beginning to find it more easy to try to separate the real from the non-real. I feel like that my mind is just more laser focused now than it ever has been. So hopefully a lot of you feel the same way. Does it suck that sometimes you have to sit there and be like, he made a good point. It does look fake. Yes, of course it does. You never like to see that because you always thought what you were watching was real. But can we all just like take a moment and just sit here and say, thank you for doing that? Yeah, like it was too good to be true.
Gas. We need money for gas. Patreon, this, that. We need it for gas. You do. Of course you need to cover your bills and all the rest of it. But fucking surely, without asking people, with the amount of views you get, you don't need all that other stuff just to cover your fuel. I mean, you're not buying any new equipment. You've got it all. There's nothing wrong with making money on YouTube. Nothing wrong with it
No.
at all.
That's why I can't stand when that excuse is used. Oh, yeah, he's making bank off of that. It's YouTube. You fucking son of a gun. How do you expect to make a living off doing it as a full-time gig if you're not making money? So you have to make money in some way. That's why I do have Patreon and members. The best way I can make money is if everybody becomes a channel member. Because most of the videos, since I do full-on reactions to full-length videos, unfortunately, I don't make too much money. Even when the views are great, if I have a copyright claim, not happening. So the members thing, if you want to see this channel continue, become a channel member. I just released new emotes, by the way. Big thumbs up. And by the way, I saw a comment that said something about, I have a demon emote, guys. I don't worship demons, but with the style of my channel and the theming of my channel, it made sense to make an emote with a demon face. Plus, there's an emoji with a smiling demon. I just thought it would be fun for you guys to have a smiling demon emoji J-Cart.
It's the false pretenses that people are using. We've got to pay for fuel. I understand the United States is massive. It's not like you're going from East Coast to West Coast on a weekly basis. A lot of the times, you're sticking around your general area of the United States, which is still bigger than the UK. I understand it. It's always like, yeah, it keeps the lights on. It pays for gas. Whilst it probably does to a degree, a lot of it allows you to live the lifestyles you live. I mean, you've got nice cars, you've got nice homes. Nothing wrong with that. You've worked for it.
No.
Except that, at least in the last couple of years, you've earned that from scamming people, working with fakers, as in fake paranormal teams, just to get your name out there. And then the other thing that you keep doing is you're these good old Christian boys that go out and pray for people and help people with your holy oil and your Jesus sticks and all of that. You do all of that, yet your behavior to anyone that naysays, your behavior to anyone that questions, and your behavior when you're absolutely caught with your pants down is, "They're bullies, man. Get them, Karen." It's fucking laughable. You put all of this shit behind a paywall so you could talk shit and smack about people without us finding out. Well, unlucky, because you've clearly got some rats amongst your community. Like your moderators that used to come into my live streams even when I was slating you and they'd be like, "Hi, Beardo." I've made light of a lot of the things that the Foreman brothers have done in this video. I have tried to make this more upbeat, more positive, but this is absolutely a debunking. Because the Foreman brothers in that description have absolutely called themselves out for being fake. They haven't worded it very well at all. None of it. And they hid it behind a paywall, thinking that my fat ass wouldn't be able to see it. I saw it. Now who looks silly? Tisk. Tisk. And if you're going to call me a bully because I've read things out and formed an opinion on it, you can't really do that without calling yourselves bullies because you've read what Jed said, you formed an opinion of it, and you have spoken out about it. So Karen, shut the fuck up. Kevin's, shut the fuck up. The Foreman brothers have again outed themselves. And I think it's absolutely fantastic. I will support Jeff. I will support Jed. I will be conducting the interview with Jed once he's cooled off a bit because he is rightly livid. So what will be happening with Jed is I will speak to Jed about what happened from beginning up to this is how the Foreman brothers got involved. It got to this point. These things happened. Then I don't need to discuss the Foreman brothers' actual investigation because I've covered it. Then we'll go to after the investigation and how Jed felt when the house seemed to act up again and he was refused acknowledgement or help. Then we'll go into what changed once myself and Jeff stepped in to help him. And the original video came out. And then we'll go beyond that into what this has done to him and the next steps in regards to Jeff and Jed. And then I imagine the final part will be once Jeff and Dana have been there and conducted the things they need to do, which may not include a paranormal investigation. And then the final part will be...
Doesn't sound like it might need to, honestly.
This roundtable discussion, which will obviously be done across the internet because of how far away I live. We'll have this discussion and basically discuss, have we helped? Have we ultimately put to bed what is going on in Jed's home? And have we helped in what the Foreman brothers have done and are doing to him? Do please let me know what your thoughts are in the conversation down below. Same as last time. This needs to be said because these three guys need to learn a valuable lesson. share this video out. Share this video out so people can start seeing exactly what the Foreman brothers are doing to their audience, to the people that they claim to help, and to anyone that questions anything they do. Three brothers that say the Lord's name and do the Lord's work. They seem to have a bit of a God complex. Much love to you all. Beardo.
Ooh, pretty well done. Again, he did show a lot of facts. He obviously was giving his opinion. Of course he was. Of course I am too. I'm giving my opinion about this. And I'm on the same boat. I'm on the same boat. Look, there's just no getting around that. And the paywall thing that they did and the description that they changed, that is sus to me. Okay, even if I was an outside source, if I had seen that, I would have been like, that is bizarre. And that is weird that you would say his story is an elaborate hoax, but yet you're claiming that this house is a demon house. That makes no sense to me unless you two, or you guys, were portraying it that way because you knew if you had a demon house on the title, it would get more clicks. That's the only thing I can think of. I don't know how you get around that. Maybe if their audience jumps on into the comments section, let me know what you personally think. I'm not afraid to say what I think. That's the thing about it. I'm not going to pick, if I have to pick sides, I will. Personally, Beardo and what they have said themselves has made more sense to me than what they have said. Where they're just saying that he's lying. That's not a good argument. Okay, if it's an elaborate hoax, why is this place demonic? Explain that to me. Explain it. Explain it. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comments section, guys. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Go support the original video by Beardo, of course, because this video would not be happening if it wasn't for his video. I'm hoping you open some eyes here. And I hope this continues throughout the paranormal in itself, is that people start opening their eyes a little bit more. I've opened my eyes to a big degree, and I think it's helped me out a lot, actually. Now, if you are somebody who watches these channels, watches a lot of these channels, knowing that they are not what they appear to be, but you watch it for entertainment values alone, which I do occasionally watch for entertainment values alone, I get it. That's fine. It's totally cool. But as long as you're aware, but don't go after these debunkers saying they're horrible people for calling out shit that they're just not okay with. Because clearly and obviously, I don't think anybody should be okay with it. Especially when they take advantage of people who are struggling with depression or whatever have you. Should not be taking advantage of that. And then you going around saying that there's a demon in the house is not going to help them in the slightest. So, having said all that, let me know what you think in the comment section, and I'll see you all in the next one. Please do take care.
If you can't, who can't speak, can't answer through. You won't be next.